Hello and welcome to the Lost and Faded podcast, where we get faded and lost into whatever movie I'm feeling for the week. This week, we watch Borderlands. I'm Byron. This is Eli.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
You don't have to say that to the camera.
Okay.
But, you want to read the synopsis?
Okay, so for Borderlands, returning to her home planet Pandora, an infamous bounty hunter forms an unexpected alliance with a ragtag team of misfits. Together, they battle alien monsters and dangerous bandits to uncover one of Pandora's most explosive secrets. Jesus, dude.
I'm sorry, this was your first episode. Honestly,
God, it's so bad.
this is probably the worst movie that's been on the podcast.
He fell asleep. He fell asleep.
You weren't supposed to say
He fell asleep.
It was a rough movie. I was getting bored. A nap felt great. I didn't miss much, I guess. That's what Eli said.
I watched all of it. It was garbage.
So first off, straight off the bat, spoilers, obviously. They don't care about the video games at all. They don't care at all. Because you want to know how much they don't care?
What?
They have one character that's constantly like, I'm not a vault hunter. I'm a bounty hunter. If you played any of the Borderlands games, they're all vault hunters.
Casting Kate as Lilith, this old woman that plays this badass like bounty hunter trope when she's supposed to be a vault hunter, it's cringy. It's so bad, dude.
It's bad. It's so bad. Let's just start off with the beginning.
Okay.
It opens up. We get narration about the world or the universe and how these aliens left technology that advanced human race, and now everyone's looking for a vault on Pandora, which it's kind of the same, but in the games, isn't there like multiple vaults? There's like a lot of vaults, not just one vault, which in this it's just one vault. They're looking for it. Some people are looking for it.
They did completely like retcon whatever story the Borderlands games even had. They're saying the only thing that can open this vault are the keys, which is normal.
Yeah.
And then an Iridian daughter?
Yeah, a daughter. Which I want to get more into that later. I got some stuff to say about that.
Okay.
So then we open up and it's the prison break scene, right?
Yes.
So we see Tina, which she's the daughter of the CEO of Atlas, quotation marks daughter, which we gotta get more into that too again.
Was that ever in the? I don't
know. It's never. I think she was just a random kid at like a junkyard or whatever.
Yeah.
In the game, and she was just like, I like explosives, and she was crazy. But now they made her the daughter of a corporation, and she just so happens to be crazy.
That shit crazy. Yeah.
And another character trained straight off the bat, Roland, is he worked for Atlas, I guess, which in the game he's just a vault hunter.
So the one thing that I can probably say off of that is that very little was explained.
Yeah.
There's no background stories or anything like that.
No.
Roland is supposed to be the team leader of the Crimson Raiders, but in this movie, apparently he abandoned them to go take on this task. But they don't explain why he takes on this task at all. He's just doing it.
Did he broke up with them before it started, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was at that moment when Craig broke out of jail and he just broke out of jail. No explanation. He just breaks out, hits them, knocks down the Crimson. What's Crimson? What Raiders?
Crimson Raider, like
lady.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Roland's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, we have no idea what's going on in this. He just came and picked her up because
He burst through the wall, knocked out the lady, and just picked up Tina. And they're just like, yeah, let's go. Let's go.
No, that's kind of like the whole thing is just people just like run into each other and they're like, all right, let's go. And they're together. I don't know why. This is the most lazy writing.
There's no background. They don't explain nothing.
No.
You're just supposed to go with it.
Yeah. So, and then they escape, I guess. We don't really see much more of the escape. Mm-hmm. Then we go to Lilith.
This is the cringe part.
So, also, I want to say, in the games, we meet Lilith, and she's already a siren. She already has her powers.
Yeah.
There's no need for an origin to her powers. We just know she's a siren. Because this world's crazy, so who cares if someone has powers? But, of course, we need a whole origin about that.
Yeah.
And so she's a bounty hunter. She's like, she has some dude that she needs to take for her job, and she stops at a bar. Because she has to for some reason. To drink, I guess, with bar people know her. And then these guys walk up. How did that start? How did they even...
She was at the bar. She had her current contract, right?
Yeah.
Whoever she came to capture was sitting at the stool next to her. And these guys pulled up behind her, and they're just like, hey, we have a contract for you. And she's just like, I'm not interested. Right? I don't want, ask me next month, right? And they're like, no, my boss is impatient. We have like a contract for you. So she turns around and she just blasts all of the guards in the bar, like killing all of them.
Wait, before that, they pulled out guns first.
They did.
They pulled out guns first,
Yeah.
and then the bar lady pulled out guns and said, don't do that.
Yeah.
Which is weird because then she does it. And everyone in the bar leaves, and she's okay with it. I'm like, don't you want the people to stay in the bar? I'm just questioning things.
It was supposed to not get violent. Lilith made it violent because of this whole badass trope thing. Yeah.
And then the boss is sitting, or he's not sitting in the corner. His little like puppet dude is sitting with his face on him, and Lilith shoots him. So he's just on the ground with his face thing on. It's like a face hologram of the boss. And then one of the other henchmen that's still alive, because I guess she missed him, gets up and puts it on his face. So now he's wearing...
She's wearing this mask of the president. This movie
is so bad. The dialogue is so bad. It never flows well. It's either they're trying to do like one-liners or a stupid joke. The jokes are so bad. They're so bad. I'm trying to remember. This movie is such a like, what was I watching? What was the purpose of it?
What's the purpose of it?
How do they spend so much money on it?
Claire, it's $120 million?
Yeah.
That was the budget?
That was the budget for this.
$120 million. And when did they start filming? Do you know?
2021, I'm pretty sure. Maybe earlier than that. It got delayed for a while.
$120 million for 3 to 4 years for this.
Yeah. I don't even know if they did reshoots or not. It took a while for this to come out.
Yeah.
So then now Lilith is gonna go find the daughter because she talked to the CEO guy and he paid her a lot of money. So now she's like, okay, I guess I'll go. Because she doesn't want to go to Pandora because she grew up in Pandora. There's a lot of like stuff with Lilith where it's just like she knows someone just randomly. It's like everywhere she goes, like so when she hits Pandora, she just knows someone.
Moxie knows her, Tannis knows her, random cast characters is like, oh, that's Lilith. And it's like, what the fuck? And Lilith doesn't even know these people.
She barely remembers them. She's like, yeah, I know them. And I'm like, you don't care though.
No, she doesn't.
I don't know. She does. This movie is just Lilith doesn't give a fuck about anything till the end of the movie.
Yeah, what was her word specifically? She's not a scumbag vault hunter. She's a scumbag bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she goes to Pandora, and then she gets on the bus with what's his name?
Marcus, the
Marcus.
gun seller.
And they do the whole intro for the first game where he's like talking about how all the vault hunters are going to the Pandora and all that, and how he's the driver for them. And she keeps going like, I'm not a vault hunter, I'm a bounty hunter. I'm like, how many times do you have to tell us you haven't played the game? That's how I feel.
You want to know what I found out?
What?
Kate Lilith, she's the only person that researched the role. She bought the game and played it just so she could play that role.
Seems like it.
Yeah, you know what? It does. It does seem like it. Nobody else did, though. Everybody was just winged it.
Yeah, I mean, Craig's easy to be. Like, that character is so easy.
It is, but what's annoying is that they literally just injected his voice lines from the video games into the...
Did they really?
That's all they did. He had no cognitive... In all fairness, he's like that in the game.
Yeah.
But, like, famous, like, voice lines from the game, they literally just injected it in the movie.
Damn, I didn't even realize
You
it.
didn't realize?
No. I was so over this movie. I was over this movie like 20 or 30 minutes in. I was sitting there, I was like, this is bad. This is gonna be another hour, just bad. And I have to sit there through it.
Now we're in 40 minutes.
And so Marcus drops her off. Where does he drop her off?
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary? They showed Sanctuary?
Yeah, but it's like before it was like a big thing. It was it's like some trash like area.
Yeah. Because in Sanctuary in the game is just like this nice city. It's really decent.
I don't remember. Because I know in the first game, Sanctuary was like a trash pile. The second game is when it got built up.
Oh, it was built up?
Yeah.
And then she asks some kids where Tina is. And then she goes on a hunt. She doesn't find her for like 2 weeks, I think she said. She was, maybe, I don't know. That might have been like a small dialogue thing. But then she finds Claptrap. This is another one of those moments where a character just walks up and is just like, hey, I'm a part of your group now. They don't even like each other. She doesn't like him. He even says, like, I woke up because when you landed and I've been asleep for like years.
36 years.
Yeah.
36 years. Which I think she's like 30.
Yeah.
36, 40 in the movie, so.
So I'm like, did they explain that? No. Okay.
He was programmed there to be there for her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he doesn't desire to be there, but he's programmed to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also for this movie, they did Claptrap wrong.
Yeah.
So another game thing. Claptrap in the game, he was an asshole. He was mean and he was goofy and clumsy. But he was like a dick, and he was like, you obviously need my help. I'm Claptrap. I'm amazing type shit. And this one, they just made him like, just dumb. And I don't...
Claptrap was voiced by Jack Black.
Yeah.
And the thing is that with Jack Black and Kevin Hart, they're just one-dimensional roles. So you go into it knowing that, okay, it's literally just Jack Black cosplayed as Claptrap.
They phoned this one in for money.
But
They phoned this one in for money.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart was just playing the role. He didn't do anything extra. He didn't.
No, he had nothing special going on.
There was like a few jokes that I was like, I know he knew that joke was bad. He could have said something to the director or whatever.
It's that money.
Which the director of this movie, Eli Roth, he did the Hostel movies. Hostel Part 1 and Part 2.
Those are terrible movies.
They're decent. Hostel 1's decent.
I didn't like them. I didn't like them.
But this is worse than those. This is
100%. 100%. Yeah. No. I mean, Hostel was tolerable.
Yeah.
This one is like, I'm not going back. I'm not watching this again.
I regret this. I wish I could get a refund.
Straight to DVD.
No, it has to be free. It has to be free on a streaming service. It's one of those ones where I'm like, I've seen so many of these movies, I don't know what else to watch. I guess I'll put this on. And then 5 minutes and you're like, never mind, I'm watching something else. That's this movie.
This that movie that you go to Walgreens and you see that dude on the corner with the trench coat that's selling bootleg DVDs. So you buy it like, it's $2. I might as well see what this movie's about.
It's not even worth that. It's not
even worth $2. That's something, man.
All right, so she finds Claptrap, and Claptrap helps her find Tina. And I'm over this movie. I'm sorry. That was a moment I was just sitting there. I was like, man, I don't want to talk about this anymore. But we get to Tina's place, and this movie just constantly just gets bad. It's just, so Tina, she finds Tina. Tina's in her room, and Tina's like, she's just acting normal. She's like, oh, you're going to take me back to my dad, blah, blah, blah.
Can't wait to see Daddy.
Yeah, and then, of course, Lilith drops the thing she needs.
Yes.
And she goes to pick it up. There's a box of TNT. And then she's like, what the fuck? And then Tina asks Lilith to grab a bear. And then she goes to grab the bear, and then it's obviously about to explode.
It's a bomb. Yeah.
Because you didn't just see that TNT. You just gotta act like... And she survives the explosion. Mm-hmm. And then Tina yells for Craig to come out. And Craig just...
That's my big brother.
I guess. He
just opens up like a trailer door. He just pushes it open and then jumps out.
He was in like a food truck or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. They were just living however in Pandora.
So they made a reference to a gun in the game, right? So Lilith was carrying the Infinity Pistol, which is a pistol that doesn't run out of ammo. And she's just blasting at Craig, like headshot. Yeah. And this man is just like swinging the bullets out the way.
Yeah.
This guy's shirtless.
He has this big like saw thing. He's like just...
And he's just slapping the bullets out the way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
It's wild. The action was alright in this movie. It was alright.
I will say the two things that they did well is that at least they captured the aesthetic. So a lot of the set pieces look good, and the action scenes were decent.
So yeah, the set pieces were really good, but the CGI was bad. It was bad. Entering the scene when she's entering with the car to like meet Tina for the first time.
Yeah.
There was literally a frame where she's in the car. I was like, is that a video game? That looked like a video game model. What was that?
Yeah.
Where'd the money go, Eli? Eli Roth. Where'd the money go? To pay your stars? Didn't go to the CGI.
Kevin Hart cost a lot of money, man. I don't know. I'll tell you.
I don't know. You didn't have to do that, but
could have chose somebody else.
Okay. So then after the Craig fight, she gets launched up, and Tina was at the top of the whatever she was at. It was like a quarry of some type.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so
Lilith made a joke about it. That's the only reason.
The more I talk about this shit, the more insane I feel. I'm just like trying to explain this story, and it's just like, what am I even talking about? So Lilith gets launched up there where Tina is, and these jets come in. The CGI is so bad. It's so bad. Because I was looking at it, and I was like, this looks like Spy Kids 2. It was so bad.
That Crimson Raiders lady, the new leader that replaced Roland, she appears and she's just like, I'm going to have to like take Tina, to see her dad. And Tina's just like, you in what army? And this is where the CGI comes in. She was like, oh, the army behind me. And like, it's on the mountain. There's all these cars and flying vehicles.
Of course, they use that stupid line of "you and what army," and they're like, "This army."
Oh yeah, the army behind me, and they just.
He wrote this script in a day. He wrote this in a day. It's bad. I'm trying to think of. There were so many moments where a character would just say something dumb or just like nonsensical, and it just made no sense. They just said it, and they thought they would get laughs. But our theater stayed quiet for most of the movie. There was like 5 claptrap jokes that our theater laughed at.
5? I think it was less.
Maybe less than that.
I think it was less than that.
Maybe I gave them an extra one for all of us.
Was there any saving grace to this movie for you?
No.
No, not one thing that you...
No.
1 out of 5 stars.
I give it half a star.
Not even 1?
No.
The default 1 you can't even give
No. No. Like, it's such a basic plot. It barely feels like they did any work on the script. Like, the ending is so generic. It's like I've seen that ending like a million times in a million different movies. And I just didn't care for any of the characters at all.
There's not one lovable character.
No.
Well, Creed. Creed was lovable.
Tina's just crazy.
Yeah.
And she's annoying because they call her like special because she's a Iranian child or whatever. So she's like, I'm special. I get to do this and that. And there was a point where I'm just skipping around at this point because I don't care. They're going up the elevator and they teleport and she's like, I did that. And I was like, girl, you didn't do shit. You didn't do anything. Only because I know that there's a fucking siren right there, Lilith, that doesn't know she's a siren for some reason. Do they even use the word siren?
No. No, she doesn't say that. She just says, when it comes to that point where she discovers who she is and what her background is, she does her little hero moment where she teleports down and she's just like, I'm the Iridian daughter. I was like, what the fuck is that? What? I'm the Iridian daughter. What?
What are you doing? What are we doing here? She didn't earn that moment.
No, she didn't.
I don't think anyone earned any moment. I'm getting mad the more I talk about this movie.
I think my 2 biggest complaints is that these characters have their own like special skills and stuff that they have in the game. Not once did they display any of that for any of the characters. Not once.
They all have their different ways of fighting, but they never showcase it in a good way. And you would think they would do that in the final fight, but they just let Lilith do everything.
Right. She's the hero that has to come fix everything. Like, oh my gosh.
They waste so much talent. They have Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Jeez, that's tennis. Yeah.
That's tennis.
Oh man, she's too old for that role.
First of all, how is she acting with this? She's acting weird in this role.
She wasn't weird. I mean, she is weird, but she's like an asshole weird. This one is like skittish. And
she's skittish and she's like aloof. She's like not paying attention to certain things.
I can't with this movie. No emotional intelligence. Very perceptive. Can't read the room for shit, though.
No, not at all. So okay. Because I'm trying to follow the plot of this movie. Because, after they fight the Crimson Raiders, right? They stop and they're all outside of the car. And Lilith's... so they get in the car together. For some reason, Roland lets Lilith in the car, and they get Claptrap in the car.
To explain a little bit, they're fighting the Crimson Raiders. Roland pulls up out of nowhere with that truck.
He pulls up out of nowhere, picks all of them up for some reason, and then they ride somewhere. Was this before or after? Never mind. Because I have something I want to talk about a little bit later. But they get out of the car after they lost them. And this part made me laugh. Roland just pulls out his gun and pulls it on Lilith. He's like, we can't trust her. She's a bounty hunter.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, do it. After what just happened, I might as well be just dead. And I'm just like, what? What are you talking about?
This scene was like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It was the shortest scene. And like after she said that, he just puts the gun down and
he puts the gun down and she's like, we're on the same team. I'm like, why are you on their team? You don't care about these people. You just wanted the money.
They show one minor dispute between this misfit of people, and it's so short-lived. It's not like
they don't earn their
relationship.
No, not
they don't earn it at all.
So then they get back in the car, and another thing about Borderlands is it's a shooter where you're shooting monsters. You're fighting a lot of monsters. There's other enemies and stuff, but there's a decent amount of monsters. And this, they showed barely any monsters. There's a giant one that they drive through together, and they kill. She shoots at one of those dog creatures. I forgot what they're called.
At the very beginning.
At the beginning. And
Skags. They're called Skags.
Yeah, and then in the vault, there was this tentacle creature, which I'm mad there was 2 tentacle creatures, you weirdo. Like, there's so many enemies. There was a bat creature at some point that just flew around, but they didn't even use the bat creatures. Those bat creatures are annoying in the game. Dude, I don't know. I'm mad.
You fucking weirdo.
No, seriously, why are you... We don't need 2 tentacle creatures. There's different types of creatures.
Oh. And it's funny because like the vault one, that one, okay, arguably you can make that make sense. But the one on land was just like kind of head scratching.
They just don't care. It just was not care. Okay, and then they get to what's her name? The son. Oh no, they go to Moxie first.
Yes.
Because first they had to put Moxie in here.
Oh yeah, she was done up.
It was a waste of time though.
It was.
It was just, there was no point. She just like, she tells them, I forgot what info that she told them.
She gives, actually, what does she tell them?
I don't know.
She gives them the directions to Tannis's location. That's what it was. And they have to use the word like echo to get through the door. Remember that scene?
Which is weird because Roland knows her already. So he should know the entrance.
What was it?
I don't, it's just to show Moxie. This is the writing.
Because the 2 specific scenes is Moxie knows Lilith. And this is one of those moments in where it's like, Lilith doesn't know who she is.
And she's like, oh yeah, I know you. And then Moxie's like, your mom was a great person or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, can we not do this shit where she's like, I don't remember my mom. And everyone's like, your mom was the best.
Yeah. The amnesia tropes in movies. I can't stand it. Honestly.
This movie sucks. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest about it. It's bad.
Yeah.
But we get a decently funny scene with Bobby Lee.
That scene was stupid. It was dumb.
It was dumb. I don't know. I'm trying to be a little positive.
Roland, is that you? Oh man, we were best buddies. And
then he goes to reach for his gun to shoot him and he gets tased.
He gets tased in the neck. Yeah, he gets tased in his scene was so short-lived.
Yeah. And then they go to, I keep forgetting her name, Dr. Tennis. They go to her place and then another person I'm mad these were back to back. Lilith knows this person and now she's mad at her. Yeah. And you know why she's mad at her? because she didn't take care of her when her mom died. It's just...
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if you're not ever happy in this, you don't even show any real motivation. You're just...
No.
She's just kind of there, annoyed about everything they have to do.
It reminds me of that character from Forsaken, or Forspoken is what it was. Where the main character literally just hates everything. she's a badass that can take care of herself, but like doesn't want to be there. It's just like what is your purpose? Like where's the? Yeah. I don't understand. She's there to do a job, I guess. Yeah. But you can play a mercenary role. Like I think you can pull that off, and then eventually develop motivation. But the way that they did it in this film just wasn't there. It wasn't present.
There wasn't really any work done anywhere.
They just randomly dropped it.
The set design, that's where they like did their work.
They did. The wigs look terrible, but they did.
So then they have one of the keys already. So they have to get the second key
to unlock that vault.
So they go down into the sewers or whatever. I don't know where they go. And there's a bunch of psychos down there. And this is where I took my decent nap. That's why I was at peace for a little bit. I was like, I didn't have to think about this movie. I was just enjoying it. I was vibing well. Do you want to talk about what happens?
So they enter into the sewer. And it's not your typical like sewage down there. It's this green sludge that'll just burn you up, right? So our heroes have to cross over using the high, what do they call it? The high road, I suppose. It's just like broken down platform that like, oh, be careful because if you fall in, you'll burn, right?
It's Tina ran first.
Yeah, and Tina ran and she almost fell off her damn self, and Krieg had to lift her up and all that jazz.
Be there.
This is one of the funny scenes that happened is that Tannis sent Claptrap through like a little hole, right? And this hole was supposed to lead him to a circuit to where he can unlock the door on the other side. Our heroes get to the other side and Tina stops for a moment and she sees that there's like a flower growing in the ground, right? And she says a very cringe line like, oh, even in like the most dangerous places, there's hope. Our boy Claptrap decides to fall off and like lands on top of the flower and he just starts dancing on it, like just like smushing the shit out of it. And he doesn't understand why everybody's upset with him.
Yeah. See, in the video game, he would have did that on purpose, and then he would have danced on it and laughed about it.
And then said some sort of insult.
Yeah, he's like, he'd probably be like, fuck that flower or something.
No, you got Jack Black that's just...
He's like, oh, I fell on something, I'm just dancing. Whatever. I don't...
So they get through the door, and they find out that they're in an underground cavern full of not raiders, blood shots is what they call it?
Yeah.
Blood shots. So. And the reason why I make that distinction is because there's a whole scene where Tannis is getting upset at Roland for calling them raiders and not blood shots. I don't know why that mattered, but there we go.
I missed that. I'm glad I missed that one.
She was literally arguing with him. She was like, you keep saying raiders. He's like, no, right? I'm not. Let's move on. And you just needed the scene to see that Tannis was just weird, right? So they have all these blood shots that are underground, and they need to find a way to get past them because there's too many of them to shoot, right? Of course there's too many. So they send Claptrap in there by himself to pretty much serve as a distraction, and he called them all like a bunch of bitches, that poopy face bitches or some shit like that. And they just light him up. They just start firing at him, so they use that distraction to get by. Yes. Well, he didn't pee, he shat. So they lit him up with bullets, and the main cast got like through. They ran past silently. They got to the next area, which is like the storage area where the key was held. And in there, Claptrap decides to like roll in and then shit out all the bullets that he got lit up with. He's just in the scene, holding. He's like, I can't hold it. I have to let this go. He's just shitting out the bullets. And it was so loud that it attracted the psychos and started the action scene, like the actual fights and whatnot.
Dude, what are these jokes? Well, it's just...
You didn't want to see Claptrap shitting bullets?
No,
No.
not at all.
It was a plot device to get the fight the bandits that
Yeah.
they were supposed to walk past anyway. The important part of that storage scene, though, is that the key, they did find the key in there. There was like a shit ton of boxes. So they're just like, oh man, how are we ever going to find the key? Oh no. And then Lilith happens to walk by a box that glows. He's like, oh wow, I wonder why it glowed next to Lilith, right? And she picks up the key, and then we move on with the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did Roland sacrifice himself?
Yes. So after Claptrap takes a shit, all of the bandits like calm, and this is what starts that action scene. And the part that you fell asleep on was literally just like 8 minutes of just straight like them shooting bandits and running in the hallway.
Damn.
That was it. You literally woke up after all of that.
Yeah, I missed that part.
Yeah. The only important part of that scene is that they got to the section where they had to take an elevator up.
Yeah, I
But
remember that part.
yeah, and it was broken. So Roland got off the elevator to fix it, so that the main cast got up, and Roland had to sacrifice himself to the Raiders. But he's an elite soldier. Of course, he's not going to die.
No,
Yeah.
he was fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, and then they're at this little junkyard place, I think, and they're talking.
She teleports them up to the yeah.
I don't want to do any more of this. We want to just get to the end. Let's get to the final fight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I'm just over this. No, because it's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah.
And I really tried to have patience with this. We get to the final fight. And how's her powers activate? She gets told to open the gate by Atlas, the Atlas CEO dude.
Yeah.
I probably skipped some stuff, but it doesn't matter.
The scene leading up to that moment, that junkyard, they end up where her home is what it was. She goes into her home, and then Claptrap blacks out, and that's where they did the exposition dump and the flashbacks. And
Oh, I missed that part too.
yeah. The flashback showed that like you're special, Lilith. You're something special, and that's it. And it was just a picture of her drawing a phoenix. And so Lilith, I guess it clicked for her, and she runs off to the final scene.
So yeah, they go to the final scene, and then they're fighting at first, right? They're fighting all of them, and then they start losing. I think Tina's about to like fall or something, right?
Into the hole.
And then they open up I don't know what happens at the end. They open up the gate. He forces them to open up the gate.
Yeah.
And she gets her powers. She saves Tina, and she puts shields around everyone so they can't get hit. So now they're like, yeah, we're winning this. And they're like just beating up everyone. All the different like raiders and shit.
Yeah.
Because they have all the different factions there. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Raiders and the Psychos and the Crimson Raiders like working together with Atlas. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't care. They just want to bring all the villains at the end.
Yeah.
And be like, here they are. Remember them?
And your diversity and like their enemy factions. You're not seeing the same thing over and over and over. So it's.
She just flies around with her abilities. She's like knocking things over. And then they're like killing everyone. And then I forgot what happens at the end. She gets shot by that gun.
Yeah.
The Alice dude has like a remote control for his gun and he keeps shooting her down. And she's trying and she just keeps getting like weaker and stuff. And then he finally picks up what's her name, and he's like, I'll kill her if you don't take me to the vault.
Oh, Tina. He grabs Tina by the neck.
Which I'm like, he said I'm gonna kill her like at least 4 times. Outside of the vault and inside. He was like, I'm gonna kill her. I will do it. And I'm like, bro, do it then. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he held on to her for a long time. I'm gonna do it. Don't test me, Lilith. I'll kill her.
And so Lilith brings them into the vault, which she's like flying around in the vault, just like
Teleporting,
like teleporting, yeah, being like, "Where am I?" type shit, and he's like, "I'll kill her."
Don't play with me, Lilith. I'll kill her.
To which Lilith, I guess, grabs something. I don't know if it was a controller or something to the ship. But then she grabs it and she's like, I got this. And then she's like, Tina. And then Tina like breaks out and punches him. And then they leave him to get attacked by a tentacle monster in the vault. And they leave. And then that's it. They teleport back to Sanctuary, I think.
Yeah. Well,
Was that a different city?
I think it was a different city.
I don't know. It's just a mess. It's
Yeah,
just they
it's-
teleport to a different city and everybody's happy. And they're like, it's done. It's over. Fireworks are happening because you gotta be generic with your ending. Have fireworks.
Yeah, Tina's just like, you want to. And she's like, I'm not gonna light myself on fire. I'm too old for that. I'm a bounty hunter, right?
And then she does it. She lights herself on fire. I think they also had like a speech where Lilith was like, Tina, you're still special.
Just not special in the way that you think, right? The running theme of Lilith just being old in the movie is aggravating.
Yeah, it's annoying because they knew that she was too old.
And they just play off of it instead of addressing it. It's crazy.
It's like they want to be an asshole about this. Be like, hey, let me use your property and make a movie that's just the most generic movie ever. Like, honestly, super generic. Like, you thought the Jumanji movies were generic. No, these are generic.
Whoa.
The sequels to Jumanji movie, not the first one. The second and the third one. They're so fun, but they're generic. This is even worse. This is worse. This is very generic, and it's not fun.
And like the thing is that when you see a movie with Jack Black or Kevin Hart, you know what you're expecting because they bring a certain level of their own personalities to the roles.
Yeah,
And they do, but they don't ever play off of that. Kevin Hart was literally just basic. Anybody could have done that role, and he could have saved himself $20 million.
why would you get them if you're not even gonna like try any jokes with them?
The Jack Black jokes were terrible, let's be honest.
No, those were bad. I don't even think Kevin Hart did any real jokes. Maybe like weird reactions because they just love his reactions. I don't know.
Oh, they made a short joke at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just like they sent the tiniest like Crimson Raider. And he's like, that was the only joke he made.
There were so many jokes in this movie where it was obviously a joke in our audience. Everyone was just silent. There would be so many times.
Yeah.
And I would be like, oh my God, this is bad.
So like other movies like Avengers Endgame or like the Deadpool movie that came up, like it's such an experience to be in the movie theater because like the entire audience or crowd like goes crazy for like certain scenes and whatnot. This one was like straight crickets.
Yeah.
You heard one laugh from a little girl in the corner. That was it.
I'm not gonna lie. The movie was ending. There was like 2 minutes left. This older guy got up and left. He was like, I saw enough of this movie.
The movie wasn't even over.
There was like at least a few more minutes and then credits. But he was like, I'm done.
I'm gonna head out.
So yeah, that was an experience. I don't think I'm ever gonna rewatch this movie.
Half a star out of 5?
Yeah, half a star. I'm gonna try and forget this movie ever existed.
I'm gonna try to remind you.
Did you enjoy it? Would you give it a different rating?
Would I give it a different rating? I would give it. I'd have to give it a 1. Give it a 1 out of 5.
That's barely better. You're just trying to be nice.
I know there's a lot that I don't like about the movie, but I'll give it a 1 purely because I do think the set pieces at least look nice and the action scenes were tolerable. That's it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Narrative was bad. Casting was terrible.
Pacing was horrible.
Pacing was horrible.
It felt like forever. That's why I fell asleep, because scenes would go on for a while.
Jokes weren't funny. Like,
Well,
there's a lot of fan service, but like fan service to who? Like, who's this movie for? Because it's not for the fans of the series. You retcon so much.
I don't know the target audience for this one.
Like, you're appealing to nobody with this film.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. I think we should just end it there. It's just awful.
1 out of 5 stars.
The half a star. Thank you for watching the Lost and Faded podcast. Bye.
Take it easy. Bye.
Hold up.